Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Don't mind the the nice glare right there. I'm trying to figure out how to not have that glare on the board here. The little ring light I have here is just a little one that sits on the desk. So unless I can get that one to sit up higher, or unless I get one that stands on the floor, kind of stuck with that for right now. I will try to figure that out hopefully soon. But what I wanted to do here was, it's been a bit, but I'm finally getting around to doing my division predictions, and it should be interesting. You know, I mean, I've been thinking about trying to do that the last couple of weeks here, but it's been a little busy, stuff going on. But before I get into that, again, I'd like to, if you're new to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. Hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, it'd be fantastic if you hit like and subscribe down there. And if you've seen the channel before, and you've seen the videos, you like the videos, but you haven't quite gotten around to hitting subscribe, go ahead and do that. You never know, it might make your day feel a little better. I know some people it might, some people it won't, who knows. But it would be awesome if you are new, or if you haven't before, hit like and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated, as I'm trying to see if I can get to, how close I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I would greatly appreciate your guys' help with that. So, with that said, I'm starting off with the Central Division. And this division is going to be, I think it's going to be very top heavy. I think you'll be very top heavy. You're going to have, I think, down at the bottom, I think you're going to have some serious dumpster fires. And at the top, you might have some, you'll probably have the really good teams at the top. So the first team that I predict will finish in 8th place. I use black on here. I'm using green. Hopefully this shows up nicer. But the team I am picking to finish 8th is these guys. All right, how's that show up? Okay, it's not too bad. But the team I'm fixing to finish 8th is the Chicago Blackhawks. This is a team that right now, just seeing them in the preseason, they're not good. This is not a good team. If there is a team that to me is going to be, I think, potentially the front runner in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, I think it's these guys. I can very easily see the way Chicago has played, and with basically the fact, that they're getting rid of a lot of their young talents. Kane and Taves are up at the end of the year. You got to think one or both might be moved come trade deadline. They're not going to want to stick around for this rebuild. A rebuild that's looking, doesn't look pretty. This is a team I could see potentially. I mean, we talked about, I'm wearing Colorado. A few years ago, this is a team that lost 56 games, and everybody talked about how much of a dumpster fire it was. Honestly, I could see the Hawks lose 60. I really could. And that's not good for a team that's won 3 Stanley Cups in the 2010s. So I have the Chicago Blackhawks finishing 8th. Now the team finishing 7th in the division is these guys. In seventh, I have the Arizona Coyotes, a team that has been dealing with their own drama lately, getting booted out of Gila River Arena, having, bills that hadn't been paid, vendors that hadn't been paid, all of that, almost literally being locked out of their arena. They have moved to Arizona State. They are playing out of the Arizona State college teams arena, and they're approximately going to have about 5,000, I think almost 5,000 capacity, and it's looking like it might draw. I mean, they had to raise the season ticket prices and all that, but it's, the students are going to are getting a nice, relatively decent discount, and so, I don't think the Coyotes are going to be as bad as the Blackhawks, but I think they're going to be right there. And again, we're still waiting to hear what Tempe does, if Tempe will allow them to build this state-of-the-art arena there in Tempe. That's a wait and see, but as of right now, I think they will finish 7th in the division. Number 6, I have these guys. I have the Winnipeg Jets finishing 6th. Now, I don't like necessarily having Winnipeg finishing in 6th. I like the Jets. I do. I was a big fan of when they moved from Atlanta and Winnipeg finally got their team back. And they've been there. They've been there for a long time. It's crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been 11 years since they've moved, but it's been. And they're in a spot right now too. They're not the locker room. You want to talk about tire fires. The Jets locker room is a tire fire right now. Blake Wheeler being stripped of his captaincy, and it's just, it's been, roaming around in the news that locker room is about as toxic as you can get, and I don't know. I don't know what new head coach Rick Bowness is going to be able to do. Unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot of high hopes for the Jets, but it'd be awesome if they could surprise us. It really would. It'd be cool if they could surprise us, and it would be cool if they could get that locker room thing figured out. Because it's a good franchise. They sell out. The fans love them there. So who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us and not necessarily finish 6th. Who knows? But as of right now, before the season, that's where I've got them. That's where I've got them finishing. Number 5. This pains me. Number 5, I have these guys. My hometown, home state, Minnesota Wild. I have them finishing 5th because they've got some young talent. They've got some pretty decent young talent. They've got Marc-Andre Fleury in net, which I think it's a good thing. I think he'll backstop them to some wins. But this is a young team that is literally this year and the next 2 years after this. So the next 3 years, these guys are in absolute cap hell. Absolute cap hell. And they're in some, they lost Kevin Fiala in the offseason because they knew they weren't going to be able to pay him. They knew they weren't going to be able to pay him because they couldn't pay him with their cap situation, because they decided to buy out Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. They bought them both out, which I I still don't understand why they bought both of them out. One I could see, but two, both of them, oof. So yeah, they're in some serious cap hell the next couple of years. But they still have Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill, who I think could hit 50 goals this year. It's entirely possible. He had 48 last year, and he's making $9 million a year, which I think he's earned. So, but I'm not sure how. Who do they? I mean, they've got Kaprizov, they got Zuccarello, they got Hartman, who's pretty good. But they've got some young guys coming in. They got Rossi finally. I think Rossi's coming in, which will be helpful. But I think ultimately I think this could be a long season for the Minnesota Wild. Again, I would love to be wrong. I really would. I would love to be wrong about the Wild. But I've also said for the longest time that they're a team that should just say screw it and have a couple of bad years and get a high draft pick. But they don't really listen to me or anybody else that would say they should just try to tank and get a high draft pick. They don't really listen to us about that. But so I have them finishing 5th. 4th place. The team I think that finishes in 4th are these guys. I have Nashville finishing 4th, which could be a playoff spot, potentially. I have Nashville finishing 1st. I mean, they have, they've got some issues of their own. UC Saros, he's, coming back from injury. And, they've got Yossi. They've got a relatively good core team around them. And I think, I'm trying to remember, they did make the playoffs last year. They got destroyed by Colorado. But they did make the playoffs last year, and I think they could do it again. This could be a division that gets 4, maybe 5 teams again out of there. So, I think Nashville's got a good chance, just a good chance as any of making the playoffs. And I think they're going to hang around. I think they're going to hang around in a few games, and it'll definitely be interesting to see how they do. I do also have to mention, Nashville is my wife's favorite team because she spent a good couple of years, 2-3 years, I think, when she was in college. She spent time living in Nashville, so she likes the Predators. She likes a lot of everything Tennessee almost. So Nashville finishing 4th. Number 3 that I have finishing 3rd are a team that was very familiar to the Stanley Cup Finals just a couple of years ago. I have the Dallas Stars finishing 3rd. Now, I have them finishing 3rd on the contingency that at some point they might sign Jason Robertson. If they do not sign Jason Robertson, they may drop further. They may drop, I may have them finishing 3rd right now before the season, but they could finish down here. They could finish maybe where Winnipeg's at if they don't sign Robertson. And if some other team, like I talked about, in one of my past videos, the Buffalo Sabres, I guess, have been throwing out some feelers. And it's entirely possible. Now, I don't know what Buffalo would have to give up to get him. I think it would have to be maybe a sign and trade kind of deal. Because as somebody had reminded me in the comments section of that video, and I had totally spaced it, that why they hadn't knocked over my chair. Whoops. why they hadn't offered, put an offer sheet on Robertson is because where I think that they would have to offer him is they would give up. They would have to be in the range of the 8.4 and like 10.5 range, which would be 2 firsts, a second, and a third. They don't have their third round pick. I totally had forgotten that they do not have their third round pick, so they cannot offer sheet him there. They could maybe offer sheet him in a lesser capacity, but I think if they do that, the stars will match. I think, you know, they either offer sheet him at one of the lower tiers in the money wise, where it doesn't potentially cost them a third round pick, or they just go completely balls to the wall and, you know, say, hey, we'll offer him 10.6 and, you know, risk giving up 4 first round draft picks. I don't see Buffalo doing that, but you never know. They've got the cap space to do it. So third place, Dallas being in third, is basically strictly contingent on Jason Robertson and what he does. Is he gonna? Because it doesn't look like he's gonna be in camp. He's not there yet, and the season's gonna start here soon. So I don't know, but as of right now, I have Dallas in third. As the season goes, they could very easily drop. We'll see what happens. We'll all see what happens when it comes to Robertson. So, number 2, I have this team. I have the St. Louis Blues finishing second because this is a team. They're fantastic in net, even though they lost Ville Husso to Detroit. I believe he went to Detroit in free agency. But they still have Binnington. They've still got O'Reilly, and they've this the St. Louis Blues are a really good team. They pushed Colorado big time. There was Jordan Kyrou had that one game where watching it on Steve Dangle's Dang It's, this was in Game 6 too. It would have put him up 3-1 in Game 6, and who knows what would have ended up happening. But Kyrou had a chance. The puck was on his stick. Kemper was totally out of position, and he's got a wide open cage, and he didn't shoot. He tried to make another move, and by that time, the defenseman got back and blocked the shot, and Colorado ended up coming back, scoring, winning the game, and they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So it's entirely possible that, St. Louis, I think, will be a playoff team again. It's entirely possible Colorado sees them again in the first round. So I have Colorado finishing second, and of course, winning the division, as if there's really any doubt, is this team. The defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. I don't see a team being able to overtake them in the division. As good as St. Louis is, I don't see St. Louis overtaking them in the division. I think Colorado is just, they're the cream of the crop. They're the defending champions, and I don't see why this team, definitely could win the division. Could possibly come out of the West again. They're loaded. They just signed Nathan MacKinnon to a really fat extension. Big money he's making, and he's worth every bit of it. Cale Makar on defense is just, Cale Makar is that guy. He just is. It still blows my mind that Philadelphia passed on him. Still can't believe they did that. But they did. Colorado saw him at 4 and was like, thank you very much. And he won the Conn Smythe Trophy this last year, and he's still young. He's only going to get better, and that's a scary prospect because, man, is he something else. And that line they have of McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, Makar, even though they lost Nazem Kadri, I don't think it really hurts them. I don't think losing Kadri is really going to hurt them at all. And, you know, we'll see how their defense goes. So that is my prediction for the Central Division for this year. The Colorado Avalanche in first, St. Louis Blues second, Dallas Stars third, Nashville fourth, the Minnesota Wild fifth, Winnipeg Jets sixth, the Coyotes seventh, and the potential dumpster fire that is the Chicago Blackhawks in eighth. That is how I think the standings will go. And like I said, hopefully I can figure something out so we don't have the light glaring, even though I have the light sitting, you know, kind of off angle where it's not necessarily shining on the board, but we're getting that glare at the bottom, and it drives me nuts, and I'm pretty sure it'll drive you guys nuts too. So I got to figure that out on how to remedy that. I might have to get one of those big stand-up. Might have to get one of those big stand-up lights, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to figure something out, but I'll have to figure something about that glare though. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you guys have? You know, where do you guys have these teams finishing? You know, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on where you think that these 8 teams will finish. And you know, do you see the Avalanche maybe making another run again? Could St. Louis? Could Dallas drop? Could Minnesota maybe move up? Could Nashville move up? Love to know your guys' thoughts. And who do you think especially? Who do you think is 7th or 8th? Arizona or Chicago? Who finishes worst? Who's going to be in that Connor Bedard sweepstakes? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below. I also will put the link to the Discord so we can keep talking about it. And again, if you are new to the channel, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, hopefully you'll hit like and subscribe. If you've seen the channel before but you haven't hit like and subscribe yet, go ahead and do it. It'd be greatly appreciated by me. Like I said, I'm trying to see how close I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And yeah, so those are my predictions for the Central Division this year for 2022-23. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I'll see you guys again later.